Welcome to Grave Deeds, where we unearth the darkest tales of inheritance, betrayal, and the fight for justice when families turn on each other. Tonight, a patriarch's final wishes unleash a storm of deceit as a surprise heir emerges from the shadows to claim a fortune, and a family discovers the gravest betrayal was not from beyond the grave, but right in front of them. The Grayson Empire was built on steel and ambition. And at its helm, for over 60 formidable years, was Robert Grayson. A titan of industry, a stern patriarch, and a man whose secrets would outlive him. Eleanor and Michael, his only legitimate children, always knew their father was a man of stern principles. What they didn't know was the full extent of his hidden life, waiting to erupt from the grave. Eleanor, if father was, complicated. Brilliant, but remote. We always felt the weight of his expectations, but also the distance. Michael, he was the kind of man you admired, but never truly knew. And that, it turned out, was the biggest danger. Robert Grayson's passing was a national event, covered in every financial journal. But for his family, it was a deeply personal, albeit formal, goodbye. Weeks after the funeral, the family gathered at the offices of Mr. Alistair Blackwood, Robert's long-standing probate attorney. Blackwood was known for his discretion, his meticulousness, and his unwavering loyalty to Robert. Eleanor, a Blackwood had been father's lawyer for decades. He was practically family, in that formal, untouchable way. We trusted him implicitly. Michael, he always had this air of knowing more than he let on. I just thought it was the nature of his profession. I was so wrong. The mood in Blackwood's office was tense, yet predictable. Eleanor and Michael expected the reading of a meticulously planned will, dividing the vast Grayson fortune between them. Blackwood, calm, deliberate, and to my sole surviving child, my son, Julian Thorne, I bequeath the entirety of my estate, including all assets, holdings, and properties. Eleanor and Michael, my children, shall each receive a nominal sum of $1. Eleanor, and my heart stopped. Julian, who? $1? It was a cruel joke. A betrayal from the grave. Michael, I couldn't breathe. My father, he wouldn't. He couldn't. It was impossible. Blackwood then produced a photograph of a young man, stating he was the product of a discreet, decades-old affair, confirmed by posthumous DNA testing meticulously arranged by Robert himself. Eleanor, we were blindsided. Our entire lives, a lie. Our inheritance, stolen by a ghost. The initial shock gave way to fury. Eleanor and Michael refused to accept this audacious claim, but Blackwood presented an ironclad case. Blackwood, smooth, unyielding, the will is valid. The DNA conclusive. Robert Grayson's intentions are clear. Julian Thorne is the sole beneficiary. Michael, every avenue we tried, Blackwood had already blocked. He claimed to have overseen the DNA collection personally. He even had a video, a short one, of father acknowledging Julian before he passed. Eleanor, it was almost too perfect. Too neat. My father, who never spoke of such things, suddenly acknowledging a secret son in his final moments? It didn't add up. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Eleanor's gut instinct screamed betrayal. They decided to gamble what little they had left on an independent investigation. Sam Riley, gruff but sharp, you don't just find a surprise heir in a multi-million-dollar estate without some serious strings attached. Especially when the lawyer is that smug. Eleanor, Sam was our last hope. We gave him everything, the will, the DNA results, the flimsy video clip. He had a different kind of skepticism. Sam began digging into Julian Thorne. His background was remarkably sparse, almost too clean. It felt fabricated. Sam Riley, and no digital footprint. No deep history. Like he popped out of thin air. Too perfect for a man who supposedly lived for decades. As Sam delved deeper, the cracks in Blackwood's meticulously constructed lie began to appear. Julian Thorne wasn't just an enigma, he was a ghost. Sam Riley, Julian Thorne's address led to a post office box. His employer was a shell corporation registered in the Cayman Islands. A shell corporation, oddly enough, with strong ties to Blackwood's firm. Eleanor, our stomachs dropped. It wasn't just a secret child, it was a fabrication. A grand scheme orchestrated by Blackwood himself. The pieces fell into place. Blackwood hadn't just found a surprise heir, he had manufactured one. Julian Thorne was a puppet, a ghost designed to channel the Grayson fortune into Blackwood's control through a series of offshore accounts. Michael, the ultimate betrayal. Not by our father, but by the man he trusted most. Armed with Sam's irrefutable evidence, Eleanor and Michael secured new legal counsel. The battle for the Grayson legacy, and their father's true name, was they convened another meeting with Blackwood, ostensibly to discuss the estate. But this time, the tables were turned. New lawyer, and Mr. Blackwood, we've had a look at Julian Thorne. An impressive ghost. Especially his connections to Phoenix Holdings. Blackwood, voice shaking I don't know what you're talking about. Michael, the smugness drained from his face. It was the most satisfying moment of my life. The case went to court. Not just a will contest, but a criminal fraud prosecution against Alistair Blackwood. Prosecutor, the defendant, Alistair Blackwood, defrauded the Grayson estate by fabricating an heir, Julian Thorne, a phantom designed to siphon millions into his own illicit network. The posthumous DNA results were re-examined, revealing subtle tampering. The video of Robert Grayson's acknowledgement was proven to be a deepfake, meticulously constructed by Blackwood using old footage. Eleanor, it was heartbreaking to see what Blackwood had done, not just to us, but to father's memory. But it was also liberating. Michael, he tried to steal everything. He almost got away with it. The verdict was swift and unequivocal. Alistair Blackwood was found guilty of fraud, forgery, and grand larceny, and sentenced to a significant prison term. Eleanor, thank you for watching Grave Deeds. Join us next time as we uncover more tales of inheritance.